And I want to bring in our panel now. Andy Dean, a Trump supporter. Trent Duffy, national spokesman for John Kasich's campaign. Ron Nearing, next to me, spokesman for Ted Cruz's campaign. And Brian Morgenstern, a supporter of Senator Marco Rubio. Okay, great to have all of you with me. So this is where you're nervous, but you're kind of glad it's not you that has to go out there tonight and actually fight the fight. Right. Brian, especially you, this is a huge night. This is a huge night for Marco Rubio. Just from a purely psychological perspective, how difficult is this for him to know that it's do or die?
Oh, he's used to being an underdog. This is where he thrives the most. He was running against the sitting governor of Florida when he ran for Senate. He frequently tells the joke that when he started running, the only people who believed he could win lived in his house, and several of them were under the age of 10. So he's used to coming from behind. This is right in his wheelhouse. He is ready to remind the voters of Florida that a vote for anyone but him is a vote for Trump, and he's going to drive that point home tonight.
All right. So what does that make you think then? He's basically saying a vote for Ted Cruz. He doesn't want anyone to vote for Ted Cruz anyway, but that's a vote for Donald Trump here in Florida.
Well, we're playing hard to win in Florida. We're playing hard to win in all 50 states. You know, if you take a look at some of the recent victories that we've had, people wouldn't have predicted that. They wouldn't have predicted that we would have won in Maine or in Alaska or had a landslide victory in Kansas. The only way that you prepare the battlefield for those type of victories is by being engaged everywhere. And we're fully engaged here in Florida. We've had a great 2 days. Carly Fiorina coming on board yesterday, Utah Senator Mike Lee coming on board today, Mark Levin coming on board this week. We've got a lot of momentum going into this Super Tuesday, and we're looking forward to it a great deal.
Are you worried about that Ted Cruz is starting to get some endorsements? Because that had been the case against Ted Cruz. The people who know him and work with him don't like him. They're not endorsing. Now you're starting to see some people get on the Cruz train.
Well, Governor Kasich was endorsed by Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger recently. We got Coach Urban Meyer in the state of Ohio today. We're really pleased with where Governor Kasich is in Ohio. He's beating Donald Trump, and he has passed him. Trump plateaued in Ohio, and now he's going down. John Kasich is on the rise. And what we're excited about, Aaron, is that a new national poll showed us as a three-way tie between Trump, Kasich, and Cruz going forward in the states that are yet to come. So as John Kasich gets his chance to distinguish himself in his record on the stage tonight, like he did in Michigan, we're going to see more.
So how badly do you want Marco Rubio out of the race? Do you think that those Rubio votes are really going to go to John Kasich? Because I was talking about just one Florida voter I saw. I told the story a moment ago to David Chalian. He is a Rubio supporter. He's worried about the polls here in Florida, so he thinks he might switch to Kasich.
Yeah, we do think that we're going to get a lot of Senator Rubio supporters because they have kind of the same vision. But as this race narrows, Kasich is continuing to rise. That's why that new NBC Wall Street Journal poll shows him in a three-way tie. It really is jump ball.
So Andy, how important is tonight for Donald Trump to keep it highbrow, to show that he can be presidential, not take the bait, to go to the lowest common denominator?
He can do it. I mean, if you remember last debate, Marco Rubio started firebombing and went berserk. So apparently he's got a software upgrade tonight. He's going to be very chill, which we're excited about. But
what'd you call it, a software upgrade?
Software upgrade. We're very excited. But what I'd like to discuss is these three strategists for these other campaigns have all these theories. Well, if these voters here vote for this person in this state, it's really not that complicated. You just need to win more votes, and Donald Trump does that. I mean, if you look at March 8th, just a couple days ago, he's at 49% in Mississippi and 37% in Michigan. And I just feel for the Kasich campaign, because Kasich didn't even come in second in Michigan.
He's only
he came
getting
in third.
About a third. I know you keep going to the
there's states where he's been in the 40s.
There are, but his overall average is still about a third.
Remember, Abraham Lincoln ran against three other people, and he won the presidency with 39%. So you just need to beat your competitors, which Trump does time and time again. And I actually feel bad for the Rubio campaign because on March 8th, just 2 days ago, Mississippi voted, and only 5% of the people in Mississippi voted for Rubio, which means in northern Florida, they're going to vote like Mississippi, and you've got Trump winning by double digits in Georgia, Mississippi.
Donald Trump is not Abraham Lincoln. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's have a little reality check here.
Comparison.
Okay,
we're talking about math here.
I mean, this is talking math. And it's the software upgrade, him saying that all of Islam hates the United States, that's being softer and gentler. I mean, that was
well. First, if you want, we can talk about Islam if we could. So when we're talking about Islam, what Donald is talking about is extremely.
He said they hate us.
It's extremely important. He's talking about the culture of Islam in the Middle East, and I want to get down to this because it's important. We love Muslims in America, and they love us, and why? Because we have a great culture that respects women's rights. This is about women's rights.
This is
in the Middle East, they don't respect.
They don't respect one thing 1 minute and the opposite the next.
Relax, Rubio. It's like they all got to come. Okay. The thing about Muslims in the Middle East is they don't respect women's rights. If a woman wants to get a divorce in the Middle East, that woman can be killed. If you want to leave the religion of Islam in the Middle East, you can be killed. This is very real.
It does depend
It's a culture in the Middle East, right? In South Asia. I encourage people to look at the Pew Research poll of 39 Muslim countries, and they will see this isn't 5 or 10%. This is majorities of those populations who hate America and hate women's rights.
All right, I'm going to give you a quick chance to respond here before we take a break, just because you mentioned.
Yeah, again, this is what Trump does. He says one thing 1 minute and the opposite the next. The fact of the matter is he has changed his position on a minute-to-minute basis. We're not talking day-to-day. So tonight he is going to be pressed to share his plan and actually be consistent. In the last debate, we saw him have a position on immigration before the debate, a different one during
like Rubio,
the debate,
you taught
and then
us
a
that,
different
Rubio.
one after that.
Thank
so
you.
he is going to actually have to tell the American
right.
people what he'll do.
All right, just to pause for a moment. We'll all be back in just